Welcome back. You're with us on Bazaar Morning Call. Let's, get to the stocks. Of course, we have to watch out for the wider market, and the anticipation is that we will get a bounce back, a recovery, not just in India, but the implied open has been telling us. I mean, it's a global recovery that we've seen Wall Street, Asia this morning, and therefore we should be in step with that, almost 90 points higher. Now let's talk about some of the individual stocks that we have to track, because there's been plenty of news flow. So our team is standing by with the CNBC-TV18 list of top stocks to watch. Guys, morning. Okay, I have two of you right now. So morning to Sudarshan and again morning to Nigel. Nigel, let's start with that UltraTech call that caused such a flutter while I was away on these wire and cable stocks. What are they saying now?
I think UltraTech's con call gives relief both to the shareholders of UltraTech Cement, and the cables and wire stocks as well will do well in today's trading session. And here's why. First, the basic details. UltraTech said they're looking at an IRR of around 25% and ROC of more than 20%. That's great. Wires and cables mix, they'll be looking at close to around 60% wires and 40% cables. And they also mentioned that their raw material sourcing, particularly of copper, will come in from the group company Hindalco, which is good news for them. But now let's get to the crucial takeaways. They say that it's a one-off strategic diversification that's targeting higher customer wallet share. So that's point number one. Second, they clarified that they're not looking for any other new business opportunities. That will be a relief for UltraTech shareholders as well. And what will be a relief to cables and wires players will be that they do not expect pricing pressure to disrupt the industry on the whole. So they're not going to be looking at, cutting pricing out there. They believe that profitability is there and the market is large enough for everyone. So all of that will be a relief both to UltraTech shareholders as well as to the cables and wires players. What are brokerages saying? DAM Capital is saying the recent stock price correction in UltraTech seems an overreaction. They're saying the investment is nominal. It has potential advantages in place. And the ROC is going to be more than 20%. Currently, the core business ROC is just around 12%. Jefferies as well, they derive comfort from the commentary on the future capital allocation. They remain confident of the company's commitment to the cement leadership. So put all this together, all the stocks should be in the green. That saw a sharp sell-off in the last 2 or 3 trading sessions. So that's about the cement space. Let's hop across to Sudarshan. He's been busy over the weekend tracking the auto sales numbers. Morning, Sudarshan. Run us through.
Morning, Nigel. So as expected, the number of companies missing estimates is much more than the ones which have reported higher than estimates. But we'll start with M&M, which has outperformed the peers. For M&M, both auto and tractor segments have reported numbers which have come in better than estimates. For auto segment, the one segment which has been leading the growth is SUV. For SUV, growth has come at 19%, with total auto sales rising almost 15%. Tractor sales too saw a jump and it was up 18%. As far as Hyundai is concerned, for Hyundai, domestic sales remain a drag. Domestic sales saw a drop of 5%, while exports have risen 7%. Company said despite geopolitical challenges, it remains optimistic on demand even on the domestic front going forward. For Maruti, sales were higher year-on-year, but it has missed estimates. And the problem for Maruti remains the entry-level segment. Both Alto and Espresso, sales for both these companies together have seen a fall of 31% year-on-year, while utility vehicles, or say SUV segment, continues to lend the support, and for this, sales were up 6% year-on-year. Last one is Tata Motors in four-wheeler. For Tata Motors, most of the segments see a sharp drop. Domestic sales were down 9%, CV sales saw a fall of 7%, even electric vehicle sales were down, and for this, sales were down 23%. So except M&M, all the companies in four-wheeler space have disappointed in February.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for that. Sudarshan, I'm going to come back to you for more. But for the time being, let me tell you about Coal India. Actually, the February dispatches numbers were disappointing from Coal India. So it was down by close to around 5%, came in at around 62 million tons or thereabouts. Morgan Stanley, they have come out with their note. They maintain the overweight rating on the stock, but they say that the sharp moderation in offtake was a negative, and it could weigh on Q4 FY25 as well as FY26 earnings estimates. So, the number for the past month was quite disappointing, though that additional revenue that they're going to be getting of around 3,800 crores, that's good news for them. Additionally, they put out, announcement on the exchanges. They've given some relief to the non-power sector customers through financial coverage waiver. This move basically is towards efforts to streamline the operations under the broader ease of doing business. So because I think, they're having a bit of a problem with regard to the inventory, they're having, a higher amount of captive coal coming into the market, which is reducing the dependency that some of these players had on Coal India. So that's why they've gone ahead and they've tried to streamline the operations. Nonetheless, because of the weak print that we saw in February, going with a tinge of red on this particular name. But Sudarshan, coming back to you, more auto sales numbers is what you're tracking. Tell us more.
So as Maruti's numbers indicated that there is a pain in the entry-level segment. So similarly, that's the reason we are seeing a sharp drop in Hero MotoCorp numbers. Amongst all the two-wheelers, Hero Moto is the one which has disappointed the most. And for Hero Moto, total sales have slipped 17%. Also, it has missed estimates by almost 12%. And there's a sharp drop in motorcycle sales. Remember, Hero MotoCorp is the leader in the entry-level segment. Its share is much higher than if you compare with Bajaj Auto, TVS and other companies. And there is a drop in motorcycle sales, and sales for this have come down by 20%. Now, in contrary, Eicher Motors, it saw a all-round increase in the numbers. Total sales were up 19%, and up to 350cc for this sales were up 17%, and above 350cc sales were up 33%. For TVS Motor, exports have led the support and sales were higher than estimates. Total sales were up 10%, while domestic sales saw a minor increase of 3%. For TVS, exports have lent the support, and that's the reason you are seeing the numbers higher than estimates. So red for Hero Moto, green for both TVS Motor and Eicher.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot for that, Sudarshan. Well, I'm also looking at Dalmia Bharat. They have gone ahead and they made a big announcement. They're looking to add 6 million tons of cement capacity in Maharashtra as well as Karnataka. The markets have targeted is Belgaum, that's a brownfield expansion, while in Pune, it'll be a greenfield expansion. Total investment they're looking to put on will be around 3,500 crores, which will be funded via debt as well as internal accruals. And they're saying that these units should be commissioned by Q4 FY27. Now, Dalmia Bharat, well, the total installed capacity will move to around 55 million tons or thereabouts. So this move is seen positively because they're moving a little bit away from their core markets, which has been the northeast part of the east as well as north as well as south. So they're moving to this belt, which will be moving to the western region. So that's why it will be viewed positively, going with green on Dalmia Bharat.
Okay, all right. So with that, let's quickly recap our list of stocks to watch. The ones that have positive news flow are UltraTech Cement, M&M, TVS Motors, Eicher Motor and Dalmia Bharat. Stocks that have negative news flow today around them are Hyundai, Maruti, Tata Motors, Coal India as well as Hero MotoCorp. So lots of auto names on the list today. Let's move on and talk about commodities now. We have Manisha joining in with a roundup of all the action. Manisha, so morning to you. How is it looking?
Well, I can say one thing for sure today morning, that most of the commodities have started the day on a positive note. That is because the dollar index has come off its 2-week highs, and then metals also are gaining on strong China PMI data at a 3-month high. The China factory activity for the month of Feb has expanded to 50.2. That clearly seems to be supporting many of these commodities. I'll start with crude oil prices, where we are looking at nearly a percentage point of gains in Asia. Prices did close the month of February as the first monthly decline in 3 months, but we've started slightly support. Strong, 1, on strong Chinese data. 2, because of the decline in US dollar. 3, you are looking at those tariffs coming in on Mexico and Canada from US that take effect of March. So the markets are slightly choppy ahead of that as well. And the additional 10% tariffs is something yet again that the markets are working with. So volatile, but some strength coming back in crude. Same is the case with the metal prices as well, because of the strong Chinese data and expectations of more stimulus measures coming in from China. For the gold prices, while last week was a very bad one, and we are off nearly $100 from its all-time highs because of profit-taking and because of the stock market losses, stoking deleveraging pressure in gold. That is what really has been impacting the prices. But today is the day. Asia is the market that you have seen many of these tangible commodities start on a positive note.
Okay, all right. Got it, Manisha. Thanks very much for that indeed. Those PMI numbers from China helping the commodities complex. Thank you for that. We'll take a very quick break. On the other side, we'll be connecting with Prakash Diwan and talk about some individual stock ideas.